Hey guys, Tattoo for You, Richard here, and it's time for a video. Yay! Videos! They're so much fun. This video is actually going to be kind of two parts. One is going to be a review video, and the second part of the video will be a tips and tricks video. Let's go table down and hope you enjoy it. Let's see. Alright everybody, it's going to be a review video, kind of a quick one. So we're our table down, and we all know what these are. These are my... Oh, hold on. Sorry, I didn't think we all wanted me to sneeze on camera. Ooh, boy, that's loud. Oh, apologize, man. These allergies are stabbing me in the face. But anyway, we know what these are. This is my airbrush collection. I airbrush t-shirts, shoes, canvas. I do paintings with the airbrush. And of course, miniatures. I'm just kind of barely getting into the miniature painting gig, really, with airbrush, besides like base coating and stuff. So this is my arsenal. This is my tools I have. I have this right here. This is a single action pache. Single action means you push it down, air and paint go out. So, this right here has interchangeable tips. I have a 3, a 5. I have two 5s and a 3. So, sorry, excuse me. I use this primarily for base coating, like primer on my big heavy duty terrain and stuff, especially the 5. I can do the smaller stuff, but the problem with the single action, especially like this, they do tend to clog a lot faster. Especially like the speed I like working with an airbrush. It sputters real quick because it dries out too fast. And here's the different tips. So, and then we come, here's the pot. These are all siphon feed. And that's all I've had for the longest time is siphon feed. This guy right here is a Pache VL series. When I started airbrushing, I worked at Six Flags in Arlington, down here in Texas, and I worked for a season out there, basically a year, and I airbrushed t-shirts. That's how I kind of learned. They teach you and everything, and this was the airbrush that I used, was this Pache. I had 3 of them. I had a black, one set up strictly for black, one set up for white, and one set up for colors. Because you want white to be as pure as possible whenever you're painting, and black, whenever you're trying to clean it out, it takes forever to clean out. And in a situation like that, when you're doing t-shirts, your time is of the essence. So I made sure I kept those separate. Excuse me. Very good airbrush. I love it. It's a bulky, it's thick thing. It feels so comfortable in my hands. It reminds me of my tattoo machines when I'm holding my tubes. It's just really easy, comfortable to hold. And it's a double action, so double action is down for air, back for paint. You judge the amount of air you want out by barely pushing it down. You judge the amount of paint you want out by pulling it back. Again, I have extra tips and cones. Needles and cones. So what your needles are is obviously that bar right there with the needle, and your cone is that doodad right there. And then this right here is your tip. That's where the airflow comes out of. What happens is the air comes on the outside of the cone towards the tip, and then this little tip, the hole is just big enough to let the air out over the head of the needle. And that's how you judge your size. So I have 3s and 5s on that. 5s, I pretty much use those for airbrushing t-shirts. The 3s, I stick to that for airbrushing like shoes and stuff when I want a little bit more finer detail. These again are siphon fed. This is a master airbrush I got cheap on Amazon. It's the same situation. It's a single action. I bought a quick connect, which actually goes on both my Pache and this, which leads me to quick connect is an awesome thing. We'll get to that whenever I get to the other stuff. But I like this. This is when I got back into airbrushing. I picked it up. It was cheap just to mess around with. It's a good airbrush. It's a good quality airbrush for, I think it was a $40 airbrush. Not bad at all. It does have a few clogging issues. The mechanics are a little wonky, but overall it's a decent airbrush. This is my baby. I don't use this one so much. This is a Iwata. It is the HP SB Plus. Super awesome airbrush, man. It is very comfortable. It's got back here, you've got your adjustment screw, so you can do it where you, no matter what, you tighten this in. Whenever you pull back, you'll only get that amount of paint. You know, it stops it. So it's really good for doing like fine things like hair on paintings and stuff. So you set it to where you want it, no matter what, you hold down, you pull back, you're not going to go any further than that. As long as you keep your flow moving, you're going to get a nice crisp line out of it. It's, again, a siphon-fed one. These Iwatas are a little different. The siphon feed comes from the side. So it's borderline like a gravity-fed, but not. So that leads me to, these are great airbrushes. I mean, don't get me wrong. These are awesome airbrushes. Perfect for canvas, shoes, t-shirts. Miniature painting, I've used them before. They work out great. You know, the first thing I've done completely with airbrush was this guy. You know, can't focus on there without a big old glare from the camera, but you know, that's the first thing I've done, like strictly airbrush. I literally went over the whole thing, did layers of the airbrush, the colors, and then came back and painted on some stuff, you know. And it turned out good. It surprised me. It was really good, but it was somewhat hard to use. With the siphon fed stuff, they tend to clog a little bit easier. You have to run a higher pressure, which is the biggest thing. And with the higher pressure, you can get sputters a lot and spits. So I decided the other day I was tired of that. And so what I got on Amazon, found another airbrush. I think I want to say it was roughly like $23, $35 with shipping or $40 with shipping. But I got another master airbrush. And this was a nice airbrush because it came with the, I think there's a number 1 in here. So it's a really fine line needle. Comes with a 5 millimeter, a 0.5 millimeter, and a 0.2 millimeter needle. Yeah, 5 and a 2. Comes with the extra nozzles on those. Yeah, the extra nozzles. And with the extra nozzles is the extra cone. The cones on these are smaller. Now, what I've noticed about these, here's your quick connect. Came with 2 different quick connects, 2 different types. I don't have one that fits this, so I don't use it. It came with a pipette. Came with a pipette. Here's your wrench. Oops. Let me focus on there, buddy. So, okay, the pipette. A wrench for taking your cone out. Let me get to this real quick. What I noticed is this airbrush is pretty much this. It's a clone. I've noticed the master airbrushes, I believe, are Iwata clones. They're very similar, man. But they come with this little wrench to get that cone off. They fit right there. Oh, hooked myself on the finger. And that twists that off so you can change your cone for the different size needles. I went over this thing. I didn't tear it apart. I used it a little bit already. And it's, like I said, it's pretty much an Iwata clone, man. Hefty. It's got a nice heft to it, so it feels comfortable in my hand. I went for the larger pot. I can get this off. You know, because I might be doing some bigger stuff with it and whatnot. But yeah, man, it's comfortable. The trigger feels just like the Iwata. It's got your adjustments back here, just like the Iwata. Like I said, it comes with the quick connect. Also, with it came, I use on my air compressor, which is just your typical airbrush air compressor, like you would get from Harbor Freight out here. It has a water catch on it. I get a secondary water catch. that goes on my hose, because I want to make sure, because that one, it catches the water, but still I get some that tends to come through. But it also came with this. I have a quick connect already. This is my regular one. It's just a basic quick connect. This one is a quick connect with a shutoff valve too. So I can adjust the amount of air that comes through there as well. You know, which is really cool. And then, boop, you're in. You're on. I don't have my compressor on right now, so. And then of course, taking it off, clicks right off. I love it. I used to have these when I airbrushed at Six Flags. So, yeah, so I just want to do this review, man. I've used it so far. I really, really like it. I'll just kind of show you what I'm working on. I did the two tones on there, mainly the main tones. I didn't do the red and the blue or the green with it. Those I do with the brush. But I'm going to go back here in a minute on a second video, my tips and tricks video. I'm going to come back and add all the white, the highlighting on this. The I guess you call it OSL, object source lighting on it. I've been messing around with it. I'm going to give it a shot. But yeah, dude, I'm impressed with this airbrush. For the price of it, it's akin to my Iowata. And the fact that it's a siphon fed, a gravity feed. This little pot up here, I love it. I'm in love, man. It's a great airbrush. Look it up on Amazon, Master Airbrush. Just type in gravity feed, and that's what'll come up, man. This, and they have plenty of them. I will say this, I did pay a little bit more for the extra shipping, so I could get it sooner, because they do tend to run slow on there. So expect that, man. And I don't know if anybody in the UK was to order one, what the time frame would be on that. It's from a company called TCP Global. So I'm not sure where they're located at. Yeah, it doesn't say on their book. You get one of these too, Master Airbrush, How to Airbrush, Instructional Airbrush Guide Book. They make a big deal about this, but honestly, it's just your simple, basic tips and tricks and whatnots. So, but I mean, it is handy for someone that's the first time picking up an airbrush. It kind of gives you a general idea on how to do stuff. So, but yeah, that's my video, man. That's my review video. People say all the time about airbrushing, quality airbrush, get one, spend hundreds of dollars, man. This Iowata costs $115, I believe, or $120. I didn't get it for that. I paid less than that because it was a friend of mine's, but I would have paid that for it because I always wanted one. But this airbrush, like I said, it's right up there with it in quality so far, man. I've used it twice, and another thing about the gravity fed, cleaning it, oh my gosh. Cleaning it in between colors is ridiculously easy, man. Where I have these pots to clean, like see that one, that's brutal. This one is cleaned a little better. But this one, I mean, there's still caked in paint in there. And you get clogs real bad sometimes in those hoses. This, right down there at the bottom, there's your needle. And it goes right to your tip. No problems. These things, A-okay by me, man. So yeah, airbrushing, I love it. It's fun. Do I say you should stick to it only? No. I think you should keep on to holding on to a brush as well. But definitely, man, if you're into if you want to up your game a little bit and try some new stuff anyway, at least snatch up an airbrush, man. You can find them pretty cheap on Amazon, and they're good quality. Like I said, this one is the Master Air. I wish I had all the info in front of me. Dag blast it. If I remember, I'll link in the description the Amazon page. It probably won't last very long, but yeah. Anyway, guys, love you, man. I'm going to get on to the second video here in a minute. Y'all take care. Have a wonderful weekend, and enjoy that nerd life, my friends.